Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Awesome. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I
All right.
can.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, let's get started. I always like to start just by telling people what I've been doing here for the past 2 months. I have a pretty big following here on Instagram, and a lot of local followers actually. And I was thinking of different ways that I could help out our community through this pandemic and the struggling economy. And I thought of doing these live videos with local business owners and different organizations here to help them showcase their business, showcase their service, their products, and in hopes that would help them get some more business at the door. So it's been a fun ride so far. It's been 2 months learning a lot about our local community, our local businesses. Getting to know a lot of people, and super excited about tonight because I did a lot of restaurants, and this one it's a very unique one, so a little bit different.
Yeah, I've been
So that's
watching along the way, watching what you're doing. I think it's really cool to, use your platform, your social media platform to highlight and, feature different businesses in our community. I think it's really important. I try to collaborate with different local businesses as much as I possibly can. I think that is really what makes our community thrive. And so I think it's amazing what you're doing. I love it.
thank you. Yeah, and it's been very 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 eye-opening to see, to learn how our community kind of works together. And I guess I'm not from here, so I didn't know how it worked until now, until I started doing this. So it's very nice. But anyways, that's enough about me. I wanted to know a little bit about you personally before we get into the sanctuary. But I wanted to know who is Alyssa, and where is she from, and how did she end up in Naples if she's not from here?
So I was actually born here.
Okay.
And
So you're
so
one of the few.
I'm one of the few. And then we actually lived in Fort Myers for a while. We lived in Cape Coral for a while. And then as an adult, I made sure to find my way back to Naples. I love it here. I'm probably one of the people that's gonna, die here, retire here. I really love it. So yeah.
Cool. So you went to high school here.
I was actually homeschooled,
Okay.
so I did it all online. But yeah, I know most of the community here just from growing up here and being in this area my whole life.
Awesome. Very cool. So and then kind of transitioning a little bit to I guess your love of animals, and and then eventually to how you got to the to open the sanctuary. If you can kind of walk us through that, if you don't mind.
So we bought our place. I used to live in Lely, in LA, really nice, beautiful community living. But just, I always wanted my own space. I always had a dream of having my own horse one day. And we kind of like we started looking, couldn't really find anything. All the property was, out in Golden Gate Estates. And this place actually just popped up randomly. We found it. We were looking for a motorcycle that we had seen on Craigslist, and we were actually driving down the road. And this guy had spray painted for sale on like a piece of wood and was like hammering it to a tree. And we went in, we looked at the house, and we went to contract that same day. We love where we live. And how we got the animals is pretty interesting. After Hurricane Irma, where we live, there's a lot of like labor camps, and a lot of people raise livestock and animals. And then when Hurricane Irma hit, at that point we had like a couple chickens and a couple goats that we had. And then 3 horses showed up from Hurricane Irma, and their owners had evacuated for the hurricane, left them behind. And they were just in horrific conditions. And after the hurricane, we had called all these rescues, and everybody was full. People were saying, oh, we just got 20 horses, good luck with the 3 that you had. And it got to the point where, you start taking care of them, you start feeding them, you start, falling in love with them.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, well, we like what we're doing. Why don't we just, keep them? And then, and then the more goats came and more animals came. And so, we were doing it all along. And we are the type of people, as I'm referring to Kevin, my boyfriend, who does this with me, and he's actually doing the dinner feeding for all the animals so that I could do this right now. But when I say him, that's who I'm referring to. So you know, we're really good at just in today's day and age, like if you don't have, you know, 27 side hustles, then you're not doing something right. And so we're good at just hustling and making ends meet and making that kind of lifestyle work where we were at home and we had our own businesses and we were kind of doing our own thing. And it was really great. And then about a year and a half ago now, I had a heart attack. And it was one of those like really rare freak things. Like I was the 1 in a million type of case. And they put a stent in my heart, and I had a, you know, a life defibrillator vest on. And so, you know, going through something like that is just, it's pretty debilitating. It kind of like stopped me in my track, my kind of like go, go, go personality, and just, it just completely grounded me. And, you know, I noticed that spending time with the animals, it was just so healing. And then when friends came over and they visited, they loved it. They would say, you know, just how amazing it was at the end of a busy work day to come out on the farm and relax and like put some chores in and you do a little bit of work, and how their kids would just talk about it for, you know, weeks later. And, you know, suddenly all they wanted for, you know, stuffed animals and stuff was farm animals and horses. And, you know, it was really like a really beautiful thing. And I really enjoyed, you know, what we were doing. And it was kind of like the one time that we were always together, you know, not working and not hustling. We were outside, we enjoyed it. And you saw like it was a really like beautiful healing thing for everyone, for me, for the people that came through. And so about a year ago, I was talking with my grandfather and just kind of like daydreaming out loud, you know, and I talked about opening a nonprofit. And like, I want to say within 10 minutes of our phone call, he had sent me like 20 emails how to do it. So, and it was kind of like, you know, my grandfather, he's very big on having a very good job with good credit and, you know, being able to have health insurance and all these things. So for me, it was like, for someone like him to be pushing me towards something like this, I was like, okay, I'll look into it a little bit more. And then my mom, she used to be a paralegal and she's really good at paperwork, and she was just like, done, I filled it out. You've got a nonprofit. And so, yeah, it was fun. I did my first event. We did, canvas painting with the goats. We had the goats sit on the table, while the kids like painted their portraits, and it took off. Like everybody loved it. It was awesome. We tried to do an event with horses, and we noticed that, you know, the kids were more scared of the horses, the bigger animals. And so I had a friend who, it was her birthday. You know, unicorns are really big right now.
Yeah.
And we
My
had a
daughter's
little
obsessed with unicorns. So,
Yep,
yeah.
everybody, it's the thing right now. It's definitely the thing. So for her birthday, we had a baby horse and we dressed him up like a unicorn. And like she cried and she loved it. She was like, they are real. I knew they were real. So it was really cute. And we put some pictures online, and then photographers started messaging me saying, you know, I think I have a client that would really love this. You know, and so it was just, well, if you give us some feed for donation, we'd gladly put our unicorn horn on and, you know, make some little girl's dream come true. And it took off like wildfire in the community. So it was definitely a blessing. It worked out. It's funny how like everything works out the way it should, but I feel like I didn't even really try, and it just, everything happened.
And
So.
that's a really cool story, because like you kind of explain how it evolved to where you are today, and you know how you started, basically not really meaning to start. You know, you kind of took animals in to help, and then eventually turned into, I don't want to say a business, but an organization today, right? So.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Once people, you know, once we started our Facebook page and started like putting our videos up, and people started following our journey, and then word of mouth starts spreading, then, you know, people started calling us, you know, I've got an animal that needs rescue. I've got a pig or a cow or whatever. And, you know, I'm like, well, we've got the space. And as long as we can get some donations, I will take every single one of them.
Yeah. So I
it
was gonna ask, I mean, how many animals do you have today?
So we have 67.
Oh, wow.
67,
Oh,
and one of them was just born this week. So
do you know all of them by heart?
oh yeah. Even our chickens, they all have names. They all have their own personalities. And I showcase that in our videos. So when the chickens are running around, I put little tags with their names, so you see who's who.
Awesome. And so, you know, out of the 67, do you have like a breakdown of what kind of animals are, so people are aware of it?
Yeah,
Like,
we've got 7 horses, we've got goats, we've got cows, pigs, chickens, ducks, and dogs. And today we found a vulture in our yard, a baby vulture. I was like a day old, so I guess I'm raising a vulture now. I don't know.
So, and these are all rescue people that couldn't take care of these animals anymore, so they reached out to you. I'm assuming.
So the bulk majority of our animals all came from Hurricane Irma. Like I said, we had all the, we are surrounded by labor camps and stuff like that. And the thing is majority of our neighbors through Hurricane Irma, they evacuated and they never came back. And so where we live, we didn't have power for over a month. And our whole area was FEMA deemed it unlivable. And they were evacuating. I mean, if you come in when you visit, you'll see we have like a little dirt road that comes out to our farm, and we're surrounded by tomato fields. It's all like 6L's tomato fields, all the main farmlands. So there was no way in or out. So they were literally evacuating by helicopter. And then it was just one of those things that most of our neighbors have mobile homes and trailers. They were just all destroyed. A lot of them are like the Spanish immigrants. I don't know if they don't have insurance or whatever. And it just, everyone left their animals behind, and it reminded me of Costa Rica, just animals freely roaming in the streets. And so we had fencing, and then our fencing blew down, and then the 3 horses showed up, and when we started caring for them, we just noticed there was chickens and there was ducks, and we kind of like shoot everybody into our property and started feeding everybody. And then so like our goats we found on the property behind us, and then she was actually pregnant when we got her. She gave birth, and then just kind of like evolves as you go. You get a phone call here and there, or we had a friend that, she had a pig that was living inside, and then, it became 200 pounds, and the community, of course, wouldn't allow her to keep it. So, we take in those guys too. We try to take the ones that really need help. But, I'll take them all.
How many dogs do you have?
So I have 2 dogs right now.
Okay.
One of them we got from Miami. She was, I don't know, she was like, what do you call, like a fighting dog, or how they used her for like a bait dog or something like that. She's got lots of issues. She's really scared. And so I can't proceed with getting more dogs right now because we keep them inside. So we're mostly set up for farm animals. We can do, yeah, sorry. We do like the outdoor animals. We've got the barns and the stalls and the chicken coops and goat houses and things like that. So inside I have the 2 dogs, but because she's got an issue with other dogs, I can't really take on more dogs yet. Yeah. So we've got just 2 for right now, 2 dogs.
So there's an animal that I have you beat then. It's the only one I probably have you beat because I have 4 dogs at home. So
I'm jealous.
I got twice as much, but I live in a community, so that's my limit too. I can't never go past 4 of them. So, but they're all rescue too.
I love that. And you got them all locally down here?
No, so I grew up in Boston, and we worked with an organization there that rescued them. So 2 of them are rescued. One is from Los Angeles, so he used to roam the streets of Los Angeles. The other one is from Georgia. It's a big lab, an 80-pound lab from Georgia. And then we adopted one from the Naples Humane Society, which was from Puerto Rico. And she's kind of like the one that you're suggesting. She was petrified when we went to adopt her. I think she's very afraid of men. So any men around her, she gets very scared. But she's been with us for 2 years now, and she learned how to like our family, and so when we have people over, it's very hard because she's not, she doesn't do well with visitors, but when it's just our family, she does really, really well. She learned to like us. So I mean, to us, as long as she's okay, as long as she's okay with the people that take care of her, we're happy with that, right? So
yeah, and that's exactly where we're at. She's great with us. She loves being here, and she's one of the ones that you'll never see when you come out to visit because she's inside.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing in my house, and we have to. When we have visitors, she stays in her crate because otherwise she would just be going all over the place, and it's not a fun. We tried many times, but I wanted to ask, so you mentioned that you were a 503C, right? Which is
501c3.
501c, yeah, sorry. And so you have, you rely a lot on donations, you rely a lot on the help from the community. And how is that going for you? I mean, since you've opened the nonprofit, have you gotten a lot of support from the community?
So we have business sponsors that we work with that help to donate towards certain things. You've actually interviewed a couple of them, Naturalist Handcrafted Soaps,
Yeah.
AY Skin and Body. So we work with a few local businesses where they would give a donation to help towards feed or towards their care. They are pretty much the only ones at this point that are continuing to give those donations. um, it's one of those things that we have become so event focused. People are so interested in our events that unless they're out here and they see it, when they're out here and they see it and they interact, people donate, they love it, they see the story. It's really hard to stay connected online. I do my best to put as many videos up, and try and keep that connection and try and like share our journey as much as possible. But it's one of those things that, yeah, because people are not able to visit right now, we're definitely struggling. We definitely don't have, I want to say 80% of our donations are down. We just have those few businesses that are continuing to have our back and support us, which we're so grateful for them. So I'm really trying to kind of lean towards more doing everything online and kind of we're trying to set up like 24-hour live streaming cameras so people can tune in any time of day to watch the animals. We'll put them in the goat house, the chicken coop, all the different places, and just kind of gear more towards sharing our journey virtually online during this time and try to get the connection so people can see what we're doing and see we just rescued just this month 2 horses with major issues that are going to need just thousands and thousands of dollars worth of vet bills. And it's the type of thing that if you were out here and you saw it, you would know, and you would help, and you'd want to be a part of it. So that's why I try to put the videos up and try to share, but it's definitely difficult not having visitors out here, and not being able to get those extra donations coming in from their visits. So it's
And
definitely hard.
people that are watching or get to watch it later, they're looking to help, your cause, and obviously the organization. What they can do to help, how they can help.
So I've got on our website and on like the bio in our Instagram and on the pin to the top of our Facebook page, we have all the different links and the ways that you can donate through. We have an Amazon wish list. We've got a Tractor Supply wish list where you could just purchase feed, Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, all the different ways that you can help to donate monetarily. And what we like to do is when we get your donation, I, as best as I can, try to put pictures up and share and let you see exactly what your donation went for so you can see exactly where it went. And then, volunteers, that's something that I absolutely, the chores don't stop. And, I spent most of my day outside by myself doing everything myself. And it's one of those things that, we can't have the kids coming right now, but, adults, we would love the help. If anyone wants to come out and give the horses a bath and kind of just take care of everyone. So, volunteers, that's a huge thing. Yeah.
Awesome. And I'll put it, once I share the video, I'll put the link in there too, so that people that are looking to donate can donate as well. You kind of alluded to a little bit when you started talking about the current situation and not having visitors because of COVID-19. But I wanted to ask you about that. How has COVID-19 affected you more so than not being able to have businesses? I think you kind of covered a little bit when you said sponsorship is down, people are not here. It's harder for me to maintain the farm
Connection.
yeah, and the connection. Yeah, but you have been busy doing different things at this time, and that's what I wanted to kind of talk to you about. I know about the barn, because I follow. There's a couple things, so I wanted to see, what you've been kind of up to on this COVID-19, and trying to maneuver around the situation that we're in.
So we tried to take this free time to be productive and get as much stuff done as possible. When everything first happened, you kind of go through that hard hit and that sort of like depression where you're just like, oh my gosh, how are we going to survive? We have, all these mouths to feed, and now we don't have donations coming in, and, what are we going to do? And just to pull myself out of that and focus on something good. So we started working on lots of different projects. I think that we have actually rescued more animals in the start of the pandemic than we have all year long. So, we've been building and we've been creating new all sorts of things. So we put in a new barn. We had some friends that same thing. They had some free time, but with no jobs, they had the machines and the equipment, so they offered to come help. So we've put in a whole half-acre parking lot, which was something that we really need. Our events tend to be a little larger than what I'm always expecting, which is a good thing. But we are finally able to expand into that. So we basically were able to do majority of it for next to nothing, just because we had friends that were willing to put in the labor. We've even had kids that were coming out and that were volunteering and helping put labor in. So we were able to get a barn up, and this is really exciting. We're going to do a grand opening. Well, I had plans to do a grand reopening event. I don't really know about that now. Yes, we got a nice new barn that'll be for our event area, and all kinds of new animals for people to come and see. So it's definitely been difficult. It's been challenging, but I think focusing on keeping going and focusing on the new animals that we have and getting everything up to par for them and getting them settled in, and then just trying to vlog it to share as much as I possibly can, since you guys can't come out to see it for yourselves.
Yeah. And I wanted to, another topic I wanted to ask you, and I'm going to tie two questions together here, but one is, you shared with me that you guys won the Gulf Shore Magazine 2020 best venue for kids' birthday party, for kids' birthday, right? Party, I'm assuming.
Yeah, birthday party. So we were actually runner up for best family friendly activity. So
awesome.
Best kids birthday party venue, we won that, and finalist runner up for best family friendly activity.
Congratulations on winning that. But I wanted to tie my question to that was, obviously birthday party and kids birthday party is, as you mentioned, it's kind of a hit, but what other events have you held? And do people do other events like, I don't know, team building events that they might go in and things like that,
Yeah, so we actually use our space as sort of not like a rental space, but we have had yoga on the farm. So we've had yoga instructors come out and teach yoga classes. We've had bar classes where you're on the bar with the horses next to you while you're doing your exercise class. We've done all kinds of unicorn tea parties, canvas painting with unicorns, spa day with unicorns, anything unicorn you can think of, we've done it. We've done Christmas events where we had a Santa Claus and he's taking pictures with our reindeer, because we have brown horses and put their little horns on. So Santa and his reindeer, and Santa sat on the tractor. And so we do lots of arts and crafts. We've had with Ruby's Raw Honey has come out. They do local honey. They've come out with a see-through beehive and taught all about the bees and how the bees, what they do for our environment. So we've just done so many different events. We had an Easter egg, an Easter egg hunt on the farm event. We've had silent auctions. We've done one of our very first large events that we did was a fall festival where we decorated all the different animals, and that ended up being it was one of the first events that we did, and I was expecting maybe 50 people. Would have been awesome to show up, and how you can put a Facebook event thing and it said 5,000 people were coming.
Oh, wow.
So we had Dolphin Transportation actually donated the use and their time to do shuttle buses, and 6L's, the farm that surrounds us, let us use their parking lot. So we used the parking at the end, and we actually shuttled people into our farm.
Oh, wow.
So that they could get in. It ended up being a huge event, but we had businesses that sponsored each of the animal stalls. So, Tractor Supply turned, the horse into a dinosaur. AY Skin and Body, Anna, who was actually on here, she had our older horse. She sponsored and did a spa day for our older horse, Lily. So we like to work with the community. I like to do events where we do vendor events where different local businesses can do have their tables out for display and stuff like that. And then I don't charge anything, just because no table fee or anything like that, just because I think it's great for the community to learn about the different businesses that we have. And I think it's great exposure for the different businesses to come out. And so it's been good. It's been really good.
Awesome. Two other questions. So any of the animals that you have rescued in the past, have they been then put up for adoption, or you kept every single one of them that you rescued so far?
So far I have kept every single one that I have rescued, but the reason is because farm animal rescue is a little bit differently because most farm animals are used for food. So pigs, cows, chickens, it's hard to take them in and really trust where they're going. And because we're still, so new, we don't have a team that can like really vet people to see where they're going or anything like that. So, and also again, like I sort of fall in love with them a little bit and I get that attachment.
Yeah.
So actually, though, we had the two new rescues that we just got. Our vet wants to take them, and she just told me today. And so, surprise, any of my people that are watching this, she wants to take them. She absolutely fell in love with the one that is older, reminds her of her horse, and they just need so much medical attention that it's like as difficult as it is going to be for me to give them up, if there's anybody I can give an animal to, it's going to be the vet, right?
I know, exactly. Yeah.
So I think this will be our very first animals that we give up for adoption, and she'll take them and they'll stay together. Moving forward, I definitely want to be able to put a team into place where we can start really vetting them. I get, phone calls every day. I want to say every day from people that are, I've got a chicken, I've got a duck, I've got a goat, this or that. And then to the same extent, on the other hand, I have people messaging me going, hey, that little baby goat that I saw in that video, can I adopt it? Because I'll come
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
So, and I'm
No,
like,
my thought on this was, as we, we're living on this, on these times and struggling economy, I think, you're probably going to have more people that are going to have a hard time keeping their animals, right, feeding them and taking care of them. So I kind of foresee that you're probably going to have a lot more calls of people asking you to keep to take care of the animals, but you're only going to be able to keep a certain amount. At some point, you can't have 500, 1,000 animals to take care of.
okay, but if I have the donations, I
all
can.
right.
So,
You
that's
think
the
big. I
big
like
dream,
that.
right? Like that's what's on the vision board right now. 50-acre farm, 100 stalls for the horses, and a
Perfect.
whole team of people that are going to help me, scoop poop and feed everybody. That's the goal.
Awesome. No, I like the way you think. You think big, but I'm being just a little bit more realistic here, I think.
It
But
is.
no,
So, and
you
we've
want to.
actually had so far, and I don't know the exact number, but we've had a ton of ducks and a ton of chickens recently. And the reason why is because at the start of the pandemic, everyone went to Tractor Supply in Rural King and they scooped up little baby chickens and ducks to keep their kids busy and to, teach them about the animals and try and give them something to like care for and love. And then, but of course, now everyone is starting to go back to work and realizing that you can't have a duck in a community or chickens, in your house because they get bigger. And so we just rescued a duck that, someone left them in a Walmart parking lot because they didn't know what else to do with them. And they called and they said that, it was injured, it's pigeon toed. So it means its feet are like facing in like this. So it can't even walk or really swim. So, that duck would have died because it just got left in the parking lot because nobody knew what to do with it. But I do see people giving up dogs. I see people giving up already. We recently just rescued a cow that was going to the meat auction solely for the fact that the way the meat market is going, they can't afford to pay for, to continue to pay for animals, but then they know they can make some money off of it. And so we actually kind of stumbled upon a meat auction and they were selling cows for nothing. And so we were like, well, you can't save all of them, but save this one and, at least feel good that we, was at least able to help one of them. But it's a really sad thing. People are going to start giving up their animals. I know times are very difficult and we already see the phone calls happening and we're friends with a lot of other shelters, mostly with dogs and cats. And we see it already starting to happen. And then as more jobs start opening back up and people start going back to work, it's just going to get worse. And it is
Yeah.
definitely heartbreaking.
And I guess I'll also encourage people that if you are, in that situation, don't just leave an animal in the middle of the street at a parking lot somewhere, right? Reach out. There's plenty of organizations like yours and others that would, come in and take that animal. You can drop it off. I mean, but don't just leave it on the street, right? I mean,
Exactly.
it's just not the right thing to do, right?
Exactly.
I want to relate to something that you said, so my wife has talked in the past about fostering dogs, we'll foster them And I'm against it. And then it's not because I don't want to help the animals. It's just that I think I would fall in love with the dogs too. And I wouldn't want to give up. And I think, you know, I told her that. I said, as much as I want to help the dogs, I mean, we have our hands full. Granted, we have 4 dogs and 2 kids. So it's, you know, there's already a lot of work going on here. But, you know, I said, I think the hardest part for me in fostering an animal would be that, you know, I would get too attached to it, and then I would be able, you know, wouldn't be able to give up. And I
Yes.
guess that happens to everyone, not just me.
It is. They have a term for it. It's called foster fails, but we love foster fails, right? Because then they end up in the home that they were meant to end up in. But you know, I used to say that I never wanted to foster dogs, especially because I knew I would end up with 30 dogs, and he would be so mad because I wouldn't be able to give them back. But when you do, and you see them go to the family that they is really going to be able to take care of them, and then you're able to go get another one that's in the shelter, and then you could just keep doing it over and over and over, and it's such an amazing feeling to know that, you know, instead of falling in love with that one dog, you can fall in love with thousands. Every
Yeah,
week you could fall in love with a new one.
yeah. And you know, the funny thing is when we adopted our dog, one of them went through the Sato program, and I'm sure you've heard of it, which is Sato is stray dogs in Puerto Rico essentially, and there's a place that they call Dead Dog Beach in Puerto Rico, which essentially they bring all their dogs, they tie a rock to their necks, and they throw in the ocean, right? And there's an organization from New York called the Sato Project, that goes in and rescue these dogs and bring them in. One of ours is rescued from Puerto Rico, and when we were in Puerto Rico a couple of years back, 6 years back, we actually went to this place to see, you know, what it looked like and how it was, and it's the saddest thing. You know, first of all, obviously there's, you know, street dogs everywhere in Puerto Rico. We went to PetSmart, we bought food, we brought water. We're going around in the streets, you know, like in Ponce in Puerto Rico, just leaving food for the stray dogs and everything. But then we went to this beach, and the saddest thing is to know that, you know, that's where they go to die essentially, right? And you see bones of the dogs that, you know, the ocean brought back and things like that. It's just horrendous, right? So like you said, and I mean, in our mind, when we adopted our 4th dog, you know, it's like, we can't save them all. We can't save all the dogs from Puerto Rico, but let's save this one here, and let's, you know, help out. So and
Exactly.
you know, I hope that more people think like we do, right? Like, it's better to save one than save none, right? So
Exactly.
and I wanted to kind of now bring our viewers to where you are physically located. Also talk a little bit about hours, or when you intend on opening again, if you're allowed to. Also, you know, like website, social media handles, phone numbers, if people want to call in to ask you any questions or anything.
Yeah, so we are located right off of 951 and 41. So if you're familiar with the Texas Roadhouse, right there on the corner. If you head towards, as if you were going towards Miami, if you're familiar with the back road to Marco Island, San Marco Road, right there at that like biker bar, that's where we're at. So we're only like 5 minutes away from Texas Roadhouse. So right by Marco Island, right by Naples, right there. As far as hours go, before all this, we were open 7 days a week, sun up to sundown. You could come for the breakfast feeding to the dinner feeding, and we did birthday parties and had events, special events every single weekend. Moving forward, I'm not sure what our hours are going to be. He's had to kind of pick up extra. Like I said, we have multiple other businesses that kind of pay our own bills that are not doing so well. So, you know, he's picking up extra hours at work. And so for now, moving forward, I'm trying to figure out, because I unfortunately, like, I can't go out with, you know, a group of people by myself with no volunteers, no help, no anything. It's just a liability with children running around, with animals. And so, you know, he's always my eyes and kind of like the person that's, you know, running everything. And, you know, without having him here Monday to Friday, I'm not exactly sure. I'm kind of hoping that some volunteers will kind of help pick up some slack, that maybe have some extra spare time these days too, so that we can open Monday to Friday. But yeah, it's rough. And then knowing our opening date, I keep saying every single week, I'm going to open, you know, at the start of this month. And it keeps getting pushed back further and further. And, you know, now they're talking about mandatory masks and all these different things. And it's one of those things that it's 100 degrees outside. I mean, I don't want to be outside wearing a mask, trying to breathe, running around, much less expecting children to do that and large groups of people. And now, you know, the numbers are just all starting to skyrocket again. And it's one of those things that's just so unsure. It's so unsure. So as of right now, I plan to open on the 1st of next month, but we will see how that goes.
And as far as like private events, if are you doing those or not doing those as well? So if someone wants to have a
right now, we're not doing absolutely anything at all. So like I said, we're using this downtime to kind of finish our renovations, get our barn up and going, and just try and make our space as, you know, nice. And that's the thing. When we first started, it was never a planned thing. So it was, you know, it grew so rapidly that it was like, okay, well, man, we need bathrooms and we need fans and we need a tent. And then next thing you know, it was like, okay, now it's summertime. We need a lot more than a tent and some fans. Yeah. And so it's kind of one of those things that was like a blessing in disguise. Right before we were booked up 2 months out for our weekends. We had birthday parties Saturday and Sunday. We had even 2 birthday parties on a Saturday. So we were booked out 2 months out. So we were able to take those extra little bit of donations and funds, and we were doing really great that we were able to kind of put it into the few different things that we needed, you know, just to kind of, we were able to build it for next to nothing. So we just kind of took advantage of that. So I think we're just going to continue using this downtime, finish our little projects up, and try to make it even better and more comfortable for when guests arrive. And this way, you know, when the kids are running around, the parents have a nice cool place to sit and they're not in the baking sun. You know, we have a place for people to park. That was a big thing. We didn't have enough parking before. So yeah, I really hope to reopen next month. And then when I reopen, I know I'm going to try and get some events going right off the bat. We just had another baby horse. Our dad, our stallion horse I just put a video up on our Facebook, and you can check it out there to see the full story, but it's like $8,000 to fix our male horse to get him gelded. And we haven't been able to do that. And he has surprised us with 2 horses now. So I think the first event that we're going to do is going to have to be a little like ball cutting, you know, fundraising event or something. Something like that.
Yeah.
But I'll be sure to make tons of announcements. I know. And, you know, it's one of those things that I would rather put our money towards rescuing a horse. As cute as baby animals are, that's not something that we really want to be doing. So I definitely need to start fundraising for that. I already have like hilarious ideas in mind for a fundraising event. And that's something that we do too. Like when our goat was pregnant, we had a baby shower for our goat to be able to raise the different, you know, money for the baby goat's shots and all the things that they were going to need. So I try to like keep it fun and, you know, make it something that's different and unique and enjoyable for people. So I will be sure to make tons of announcements. I'm really big on all of our social media platforms. It's the same across all of our platforms. Alyssa's Animal Sanctuary. So Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We do Patreon, where we send like exclusive video content and pictures, and you know what's going on before anybody else does, in exchange for a monthly donation, like a subscription, basically, to kind of be the first one that knows what's going on. You know, we use basically every platform you can think of, and then we'll be using Twitch to live stream 24 hours a day, so you guys can tune in for like $1 a month. Tune in to wherever whenever, to see all the animals. So I will be sure to really advertise when our reopening date is, and I put everything on our website. Any events that we do, it's on my Facebook, it's on my website. We put it just all across the board. So as soon as I know the official date, I'll make that announcement. And then what we do is we will put our calendar back up on our website, and then you just go through the calendar to book your time or your birthday. And if you ever want to do a special event, we just had a request for a wedding out here, because they wanted their money from the wedding to be able to fundraise the animals and to be able to care for the animals, which I think is just such an awesome way to have a wedding. So already has my mind rolling about maybe doing weddings out here all the time.
Awesome. And I was gonna ask you, do you ever take the animals elsewhere or
Yeah,
so
so
crazy?
yes, so it depends on the situation, and it depends on really, like, so we did, down on Fifth Ave, we brought a couple goats out there. We've had requests to take our horses, unicorns. We don't really do that because our horses are rescues. They're great, they're fantastic in their home environment where they know that they're safe and they know that they're secure. And we've kind of noticed when we take them out of the property, they start to act a little different. They're unsure of their surroundings. So just to keep them comfortable, we keep all the horses here, all the unicorns here. You can rent our space, so you can come and set your own party up the way that you want, or we can totally run the entire party for you. We've had birthday parties for 50-year-old women. We've had all kinds of different stuff. So we can take goats, chickens. We have a little girl that was actually just I think it's cancer that we just got a phone call the other day. I think she's got cancer and she's not going to be around for very long. That's a special exception. I absolutely will load my animals in a trailer. I'll bring her the whole farm and give
Yeah.
her that final experience to be able to, just completely surround herself with some animal therapy. So there's exceptions. There are different things. We had the Players Club that wanted us to bring a unicorn poolside. That's not something that we really do as much as
Yeah.
I think that would be amazing. So it really just kind of depends on the situation and what animals that you're really wanting. I try to do what's best for the animals, not stress them out or do anything that would, make them uncomfortable in any way. They're always the first priority.
Yeah, absolutely. So listen, we're running into like 40 minutes here, and what I like to do at the very end is just kind of leave an open space for my guests to kind of leave a message, whatever kind of message they want to do, be for their customers, for anybody out there, and that's kind of what I wanted to open the floor to you and allow you to give your message here.
Yes, I think what I would say is just something like what I'm doing is just something that would not be possible without the support from the community, and without the support of others. And it is 100% because Naples and Marco Island in our area has supported us so much that we were even able to do what we are able to do every single day. And so, I definitely understand that times are hard and things are really difficult, and so we don't see those donations coming in, but it's one of those things that you can support us just as much by sharing our posts, telling friends about us, letting them know that we're here. You never know whose eyes that a post might fall on, who might see it and who might be able to help. So, just even word of mouth and watching our videos and sharing them with your children and just connecting them. I think that's my biggest goal, and what I'm really trying to do is connect the community to just the animals and the love that animals have, and really like be more aware of how to care for them, and just to be able to see the bigger picture of what's going on. And so I think it's really great when parents tell me that they share with their kids and they show them the videos and they really learn from it, and that's really, I love that. And so thank you to everyone that has supported us. Thank you to Naples. So yeah, if you just follow along on our social media pages and just share and word of mouth and, follow along our journey, I think that helps out so much. And then if you are able to donate, like I said, we've got all of the different links on all of our different platforms, Facebook, our website. You can donate through credit card and all of the different ways. You can donate feed straight from the store, so that it's going towards feed, or Tractor Supply gift cards. And just to just be patient, and we hope to really reopen soon. I can't wait to get everybody back out here. Really, I do love the events. It really, just seeing the kids connect with the animals, and then you just watch the animals just light up from the love and the interaction, all the extra treats that the people are giving them. And it's just a beautiful thing. So I can't wait to reopen. But so if everyone just bears with us, we're almost there. We'll have a beautiful new event space for all of our events. That's going to be so amazing and comfortable. And if you're able to volunteer, you can message me. We would love a little bit of labor. And it really is. It's a community support, a nonprofit like ours. It really, I could not do it on my own if we did not have you guys' support. If the donations just 100% stopped, we would have to start giving up our animals to other rescues and facilities that could really care for them, because it is one of those things that we keep taking more and we keep taking more because we have the support. So we just need to continue having that same amount of support, if not more, so we can continue doing what we're doing and just giving them the best care and expand and get, take more, be able to take more animals that need help.
Sounds good. You got that big goal of thousands of animals, right? So
Yes.
we gotta get to that. And my daughter was I was showing her some of the videos today, and she's super excited to go see, and she was obviously hooked on the unicorn. Saw the picture of the unicorn. She's like, yeah, I want to. They do exist. I want to go see them.
I love it. I love that. Well, I
see.
can't wait for you to bring her, and you can bring your 4 pups too. I'm okay with that.
That's actually another question I was going to ask. Do people bring their own animals there to interact with other animals?
So before, we've never had people bring their own animals, because the way that we have our space is everybody free roams. So it is not like the zoo where you're behind a fence. I mean, you have chickens running all around. You've got everyone running all around. And so we've asked before not to bring pets, because I know my animals are great with dogs because they're used to my crazy dogs running around, but you never know how your dog might react to chickens running around crazy. But with this new event space, it's completely separated for the people that don't want to completely go in with the animals, that are kind of fearful, that do want to stay behind that fence. So now that we have this whole new space, yeah, bring your dogs. I'm cool with that. I'm okay with that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'll probably take if I were to take, I'll take my 8-pound mini dogs as opposed to my 80-pound lab. But
what? No, I like the big dogs too.
just in case. Well, listen, I wanted to, thank you so much for taking the time. Well, first of all, I actually wanted to thank you so much for all that you're doing for these animals. I think it's super awesome as an animal lover myself, and someone that truly believes in rescue animals. I really appreciate for all the love that you're giving, these animals, obviously, and giving them a home. I think it's, I see that every day. I very often talk to my wife and I say, hey, can you picture what would these animals be without us if we hadn't taken the time to adopt them, and where they would be right now? And it's something we discuss on a daily basis when we see them laying in our bed and all happy and all excited, right? And to think where they came from or what situation they could have been if we had not taken that step to help them. So I appreciate so much you for doing that. And then, I also appreciate you taking the time and telling us a little bit about yourself and about, the work that you're doing and, all the work that you're doing for the community as well. I truly appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, like I said, I really appreciate the invite to come on here. I think it's really cool to use your platform in such an amazing way to help the community and to just share, what we've got in our local community. Like I said, being, born here, I am all about that. Supporting the community is the biggest thing, especially through times like this. And so while I'm not your typical person where I can't say buy our product or order some food, I can say show your kid to love it, give them that connection, and we hope to see you guys soon.
Awesome. Let me just see, because I think I have a question here. I just want to make sure I answer a question. No, they're just saying hi. So awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much. And I hope to see you on August 1st when you reopen.
Yes.
For now.
Fingers crossed.
And I'll be there with my kids and dogs and to see the animals.
Awesome. Thank you so much for this again. And yes, I can't wait to see you. Can't wait to see you kids. And I really look forward to it.
Sounds great. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too.
Bye-bye.